Hello, friends, and welcome to our streaming services. If you're with us on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to get notifications when we have new videos. If you're with us on Zoom, hello, welcome. Drop a hello in the chat so that we can say hi back. And if this is your first time, go ahead and sign our guest book at oakcliffuu.org/guest. Today's sermon is NTUUC, its history and possibilities, with NTUUC's Executive Director, Daniel Polk. And speaking of the wonderful, amazing things that NTUUC does, they have a really great webinar coming up on being a non-anxious presence. I have actually heard really, really good things about this, and I'm going to try to attend. But in these stressful times, this can be really helpful if you're going into any sort of leadership position. Just anything, actually. I can think about 1,000 different ways that this would be really helpful, because it is about learning to step back in a crisis situation or a difficult situation and deal with it objectively. So anytime you're dealing with somebody else, and feelings get wrapped up in it and such, or maybe you're both kind of miscommunicating or misconstruing things, that can always be a real barrier, right? So this is one of those webinars that should help everybody with that, and no matter how good you are at it, you can always be better. So like I said, I have heard really great things about this. The date is Saturday, October 23rd. It's at 10 a.m. Just go and go register at the link here. And if you didn't catch that link, it is, of course, in the e-blast. Find it in the president's message or in the fine print underneath the actual advertisement for this. Oh, y'all, today's the day. We have been talking about Craft Cycle Dallas for how long now? Today is its inaugural event, and it is at our church. So come by today from 1 to 5 anytime. There's going to be so much good stuff. I have heard from all of the volunteers that there is just really, really great stuff. These are amazing craft supplies at bargain prices, and you know you can never have enough craft supplies, right? So especially if you donated to this thing, you're short some supplies, so now it's time to go and refill that, right? Show up today. Masks and social distancing are enforced, so it is a safe event. And thank you to everybody who has volunteered and gotten involved. Go check it out. It's going to be lots of fun. We are also only a few weeks away from our haunted forest. So much fun. This church loves Halloween. Halloween loves this church. So let's go and do this. If you can volunteer, it is super easy this year because it is only one spooky Halloween-filled night. So you don't have to dedicate weeks after weeks after weeks. Just one night. Or if you can't do that night, set up during the day, or tear down late at night if you've got other plans for the kind of mid-time there. There is just so much to do. And if you do have the time there, then come along and you can take tickets or, scare everybody, whatever. I mean, there's 1,000 things to do in these sort of things. So there's something to fit your personality. Just go ahead, and if for some reason you're not able to volunteer at all, we know it's a busy time of year, and when it's only one day, make sure that you share it with your friends. Share the event with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or, just call them up and say, hey, Haunted Forest, super fun, go do it. All right, we do have a sign-up genius, too, for you volunteers. So here you go. Go to the sign-up genius, find what you want to do, and click it. Super, super easy. I love the sign-up genius, honestly. And if you missed that link, in the e-blast, right? Speaking of the e-blast, that's where you go to get all of your news, everything that you need, updates, COVID stuff, Halloween stuff, craft cycle stuff, a message from our president every single week about the amazing things going on. You would be surprised how much stuff we have going on. Or I guess you wouldn't be if you follow the e-blast every week. It is a very short read and worth it. So go sign up if you haven't, and go read it if you're signed up and haven't done that yet. All right, it has been a long time since I pointed out all the amazing ways that you can help your church financially. So let's run over those very quickly. oakcliffuu.org/donate. There are several different options. You can donate to different particular things or to the church's just general fund. Amazon Smile, if you are using Amazon, you can use it on an app. You can use it on your computer. Anytime you're buying anything, if you're buying Halloween stuff, Christmas is around the corner, use Amazon Smile and donate to us. I get a little report all the time that tells me you've donated this much to Amazon, to UUCOC without even thinking about it because you are addicted to Amazon. They don't say that last part, you know. All right, if you are not using Amazon, because let's face it, addicted. Anything else on the internet almost will donate to. Use iGive, and then wherever you're shopping, you get a portion of that too, same way. And we do have the text to give option. Oh, and the Facebook donate button. We could not make this easier for you. So just pick whichever one rocks your boat, makes you happy. Float your boat. Float your boat. You don't want to rock the boat. You want to float the boat. All right. It is Sunday. So today we have Talkback at 11:15, Adult RE at 1 o'clock. And of course, all week long, anytime you want, we are available on Discord for chits, chats, games, stuff, Discords things. All right. Finally, here we are at the end. We have member anniversaries. And y'all, I know. Every week is special, but this one, we have 3 amazing people who all joined on the exact same day, 18 years ago. So you know it's going to be really good, right? All right, celebrating their 18 years at UUCOC, we first have my birthday buddy, love you so much, Nancy Johnstone. Yes! And that the birthday's coming up really soon, so even more to celebrate. Happy UUCOC anniversary to you, Nancy. And y'all, this is pretty huge. This is like really big. So you better get ready. You got some streamers or some air horns or something. Come on. I doubt anybody logs more volunteer hours than they used to with our church because it is nuts. Everybody, seriously, stop what you're doing, get excited, and wish a very, very happy UUCOC anniversary to Scott and Kathy Gray. Happy anniversary, guys! Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. Those are 3 amazing anniversaries for 3 amazing people who just mean so very, very much to this church. So, to the 3 of you and to absolutely everybody out there, happy Sunday.
Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff. Thank you for having the curiosity and courage to join us. We welcome you, whoever you are, whatever spiritual tradition, whatever gender, age, race, sexual orientation, or background you may bring to our community. We hope you find here comfort, challenge, community, respect, and above all, love.
May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, spirit of love, compassion, and forgiveness.
Que esta luz que ahora encendemos nos inspire a usar nuestros dones y poderes para sanar y no para herir, para ayudar y no para impedir, para bendecir y no para maldecir, para servirte a ti, espíritu de amor, compasión y perdón.
We come to love a church by Andrew C. Kennedy. We come to love a church, the traditions, the history, and especially the people associated with it. And through these people, young and old, known and unknown, we reach out, both backwards into history and forward into the future, to link together the generations in this imperfect but blessed community of memory and hope.
Where is our holy church, where race and class unite, as equal persons in the search for for beauty, truth, and right. Where is our holy writ, where a human heart a sacred torch of truth has lit, by inspiration taught? Where is our Holy One? A mighty host respond. The people rise in every land to break the captive's bond. Where is our holy land? Within the human soul, wherever free minds truly seek, with character the goal. Where is our paradise? In aspiration's sight, wherein we hope to see arise 10,000 years of right.
Because we love one another, we honor each individual spiritual journey. We celebrate life's abundance and service to each other, our community, and the world. We connect with each other in love, respect, and acceptance. Thus do we covenant together.
And now in Spanish. Porque nos amamos uno al otro, honramos el viaje espiritual de cada individuo. Celebramos la abundancia de la vida en el servicio a entre sí, nuestra comunidad y el mundo. Ponemos en contacto a unos con otros en el amor, respeto y acepción, así que hacemos pacto.
You are not alone with your sorrow, just as I am not alone with mine. Our covenant of right relations makes this so. You and I are bound by our promise to commune. In community, the burden of a heavy heart is shared. A burden shared is a burden lightened. At this time, we invite you to publicly post your sorrows and prayer requests to the Zoom chat or to send them to our Facebook Messenger.
When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love.
This Sunday, like every Sunday, we reaffirm our promise to one another. Our promise makes clear the call to celebrate. For that which brings you joy, makes you grateful, brings you peace. We, your sacred community, celebrate. We celebrate together and magnify joy, heighten gratitude, and spread ever-increasing peace. At this time, we invite you to publicly post your joys and prayer requests to the Zoom chat or send them to our Facebook Messenger.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the streams of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Hello there. Yes, ours is a rich and diverse history in North Texas, of which we can be proud. First Unitarian has been in Dallas for more than 120 years and has helped start many of the congregations in the North Texas area, the greater Dallas-Fort Worth. We've also helped start the mosque in Richardson in the 1980s. And in the 1960s, work on Roe v. Wade centered at Dallas First Unitarian. I knew two of the women who were active in that, and they never talked about it because they were always going on to the next thing. And in the 1960 telephone book, Yellow Pages, had Black churches, white churches, and other. There are three churches in the other. The Cathedral, downtown, a Congregationalist Church, and First Unitarian. Today, I want to talk a little bit about our history, our current programs, and if we really got rocking and rolling, what we could do in the future. But I'll go back to start with our history. Chalice on the Texas prairie. Out in West Texas, the Universalists were passing through in the 1840s, 160s, 170 years ago, saving people who weren't good enough for the Baptists. In the 1890s was the heyday led by James and Mary Billings. The 1889 is a sign-up sheet here. These ministers signed in at a meeting, 16 ministers, including one from Fort Worth. Sometimes Reverend Street was listed Dallas as his home. But to my knowledge, there was not a Universalist congregation here in town. In 1893, the Universalists were working on such issues as equal pay for equal work. Yes, more than 100 years ago, they were working on issues like that. And of course, suffragist was part of that. The First Unitarian Houston, when they were getting ready for their centennial or their 75th years ago, they did some research and found that the people in the founding the Unitarian Church had earlier been involved with the Universalists. And because of that, they changed their name to First Unitarian Universalist. In the 1890s, there was a church, or the 1880s, a church in Austin, but it did not last. Dallas, 1899, First Unitarian formed. The building was downtown, Commerce and Pearl. There's now a parking lot at this corner. In 1931, the doors shut for 7 years, but the Women's Alliance kept things together. It's why it's counted as the longest standing UU church in Texas. In the late 1960s, there was an informal group of 6 congregations in DFW. They formed a 501c3 because there was a builder who knew of federal housing programs and needed a nonprofit as a partner. So we built Rabel Place, an apartment complex, low income, which was the very ideal for housing and urban development. When they went nationally, they would use us as the model. They referenced us because out of all the programs across the country, ours was one of 2 that embodied the ideals of the legislation. We had on-site healthcare worker, social worker, parenting classes, GED classes. It was the first integrated housing apartments in North Texas, and we were the ideal. The board in that era, we look like a fearsome bunch, don't we? It was the ideal. But with any faith-based housing, of course, there's going to be fraud and inequities. The program only lasted a few years. After there were, out of 72 programs nationally, 59 went into bankruptcy, but ours was the ideal of the way it was supposed to be. After 30 years, there was no more subsidies. The rents were up near market rate. The place needed some major repairs. We got a good offer. We took the money and ran, invested it very well, got in the stock market at a very good time, and we've got a substantial endowment today. And we are now NTUUC, North Texas Unitarian Universalist Congregations. We put on programs, trainings like the Standing on the Side of Leadership, which grew out of a board's training our board members how to be an effective body. This went on for several years. Other topics, climate change and other social action work. We teach about our whole lives, which is in a comprehensive, inclusive curriculum, not just a sex ed course, but it also is medically accurate and, as I like to say, non-judgmental. One of the best things we do. We also support networking, like meetings of our presidents, vice presidents of our congregations. We get together at GA when we actually have a meeting at GA. And lots of activities. We support programs of the UUA, Unitarian Universalist Association. Things like the Dwight Brown Leadership Experience, training people to be effective leaders. Social justice work. The UUCSJ, the College of Social Justice, often puts on intensive trainings for doing work. And we work on getting our name out there to let people know about us and our congregations. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. And you can be part of this. You can help. Doing 3 things I would ask you. If you go on Facebook, please react to, comment on, and share our posts on Facebook to your own pages. Do the same on Twitter. Then we'll show up in more people's searches online. Our name will be more referenced. We go lobby. We work on social action issues. When the ledge is in session next time, we can, again, take a bus to Austin and descend with our yellow shirts and make a presence there. And our pride parades, when those resume, we'll probably be out there in force again. We are quite a contingent. We get those yellow shirts out there, we are seen. There's the Tarrant County congregation or contingent. Some will ask, how is a pride parade social action? Well, we are reaching out to people who have been abused in the name of religion, because ours is not just a life-changing religion, it is often life-saving. Last year, we started working on a strategic plan. What are we going to do going forward in the future? Our vision statement is congregations, our strong, healthy congregations will transform lives by enabling people to benefit from UUism, enriching the souls, and increasing justice in North Texas. Our mission is to help congregations meet their goals through a strategy of using our resources, putting on trainings, and increasing our visibility. Resources. We've got money. We actually give out our own grants, like $5,000 to Pathways to supplement the salary for a half-time director of religious education. Let's do this. We also give out registration assistance, money to help people attend UU conferences and trainings. Those we put on and outside. The next one will be in October on self-differentiation, so you can be more of a non-anxious presence. That's important for anybody to be a leader. And what I want to see is all of our boards go through this training. Beyond that, once we've gone through the board's training, said, let's take this to a next level. I'm putting together a roundtable for our presidents and vice presidents with a nationally known leader who will be there to teach and facilitate a high-level conversation on leadership. Look for that next year. Visibility, getting our name out there, promoting UUism and promoting our congregations. Let's do this. But beyond that, what could we do if we really got rolling, rocking and rolling? What are some big things we could do? Maybe housing, because we got our start in housing. We should do housing first. This is helping people who are homeless by getting them into housing, and not like it's been done before, making them get sober and clean before they get housing. Because you know what? That homelessness often happened because, I got that around. The substance abuse and the mental illness issues often happen because of the homelessness. But if we can get people into housing, we can then address the other issues. It's much more efficient and much more possible. So let's do housing first. Now, some people say, let's go build another Rainbow Place. No, we don't have nearly that kind of money. I would suggest that we focus on a specific population and we partner with a group such as Habitat. Maybe we build tiny cottages somewhere. I want to tell the story of our congregation in Washington State, Olympia. This congregation has a history of working on homelessness and housing. About 15 years ago, there was a protest camp set up, a tent city downtown, and Olympia the city officials said, we're going to shut this down. Our congregation said, we've been working on housing. We've got empty land. Bring your stuff over. So Tent City moved from downtown to our property, and for several months they stayed. But they were not allowed to keep it there permanently. So for the next 7 years, this tent city moved every 90 days, and then every 6 months. So every 3 to 6 months, this tent city moved between 6 different congregations. for 7 years. But in that time frame, our congregation was the lead on building housing, tiny cottages, using state money and land owned by the county. They built 30 cottages, tiny houses. It's called Quixote Village because the tent city was called Camp Quixote. And it's managed by people who live there and people who have lived there. We might look at a population. I would suggest one option is youth, which hits another box for us. LGBT youth are 40% of the homeless population of youth. Teens who have been kicked out of their homes or fled for their personal safety. They're looking for housing. Sometimes they get turned away from the shelters, especially if they're transgender. We could be working on this because teens are, of course, fragile, especially queer teenagers. Let's think about working on this. And, because being not just turned away from the shelter, sometimes they're just looking for a place to use the restroom. And of course, we don't even want to talk about the survival sex that happens. We could work on that as an issue. Teaching OWL our whole lives. First Unitarian is starting a program to teach OWL in the wider community through a program called Wholly Informed Sex Ed, because the OWL is wise. We could raise a chunk of money, and I'd like to replicate this in Tarrant County, Denton County, and beyond. It would take some money. Campus ministry. There are several models, from those that take a little bit of money to those that take big chunks of money. If I had a bucket of money, I might consider a campus ministry center, maybe in Denton between North Texas and Texas Women's Universities. We could then really build the foundation for future generations of Unitarian Universalists. The possibilities are vast. What could we do? What should we do? We are fleshing out into a strategic plan, but we also need people involved like you. We've done a lot, we do a lot, and we could be doing so much more. When we go forward, there are 3 questions I want us to ask, to remember. First, do we do community service or social justice work? Community service is addressing the needs of people immediately, and social action is addressing the issues systemically so that we don't have the issues in years going forward, so we don't have those problems in the future. Both are important. We need to do both, but some people do community service and pretend they're doing social action. They're not the same. Another question, are we doing things with people or for them? Well-intentioned people who do things for others may not always be helpful. Even Rainbow Place may have been some of that. But when we do things for people, that can be sometimes patronizing, patriarchal, and presumptuous. So let's work with people to see what they actually need. What is our sweet spot? Okay, this is an idea that helps us focus on putting the pieces together, looking at needs of the community, our skills and our resources, and what really interests us. When we look at what falls in that overlap is when we really do the powerful work. You can also use this approach for your own personal career planning. Just tweak the categories a bit. Finally, religion is about saving souls. And that's good work, but UUism is about saving lives. So let's do that. Let's draw inspiration from our past, keep doing the good work, and consider possibilities of what we could do and be. Blessed be, amen.
When our heart is in a holy place, our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. Then our heart is in a holy place.
This house is for the ingathering of nature and human nature. It is a house of friendships, a haven in trouble, an open room for the encouragement of our struggle. It is a house of freedom, guarding the dignity and worth of every person. It offers a platform for the free voice, for declaring, both in times of security and danger, the full and undivided conflict of opinion. It is a house of truth-seeking, where scientists can encourage devotion to their quest, where mystics can abide in a community of searchers. It is a house of art, adorning its celebrations with melodies and handiworks. It is a house of prophecy, outrunning times past and times present in visions of growth and progress. This house is a cradle for our dreams, the workshop of our common endeavor. To make an offering or fulfill your pledge, please go to oakcliffuu.org/donate and follow the links.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. De tio recibo, a ti te doy. así compartimos y vivimos hoy. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy. Así compartimos y vivimos hoy.
Our connection to each other and this community remains, by Kathy A. Huff. Our time in this place may have ended, but our connection to each other and this community remains. Together, may we walk the path of justice, speak words of love, live the selfless deed, trod gently upon the earth, and fill the world with compassion. Until we meet again, blessed be.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
And now in Spanish. Encendimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevamos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside